We will be taking part in a Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon Draft League hosted by Smogon in hopes of getting as far as we can in the draft style format. For those unfamiliar with what a draft league is, multiple players are split into 8-person pools, picking Pokemon one by one in a snake style format. All of the Pokemon you are able to pick are categorized by points, with strong Pokemon like Tapu Koko, Zeraora, and Landorus Therian yielding the highest point value. We have 90 points to choose 8 Pokemon to compose our team. I was picked 6 and I was surprised to see this Pokemon still around the slate. Tornadus Therian was my first overall pick as well as my Z Captain. You are allowed 2 Z Captains of any point value, so passing up on making this Pokemon my Z Captain seemed impossible. Tornadus has a ton of utility with access to Knock Off, U-Turn, and Taunt, as well as inaccurate moves that can benefit from Z Crystal usage such as Hurricane and Heat Wave. My second pick was my favorite Mega in the likes of Mega Mawile. Despite its lackluster speed and HP stat, it has relatively good defensive stats with huge power on top of its base 105 attack stat. Stab, Play Roughs, and Iron Heads are always going to be hard to switch into, as well as coverage moves including Fire Fang for Steel types and Stone Edge for Fire types. Sucker Punch Mind Game will always be a factor to finish off weakened opponents who are forced to attack it. With Mega Mawile drafted, I now wanted to build a team around supporting it, so my third overall pick was Mew. Mew is a jack of all trades and pairs well as my second Z Captain alongside Tornadus. Mew also gives the option of Trick Room if I choose to go that route to compensate for the slow speed of Mawile. Mew not only has great utility but great offensive and setup capabilities, so I'm very excited to be creative and use this Pokemon pairing with the rest of my team composition. At this point I wanted to get an answer for electric types. The aforementioned Tapu Koko and Zeraora run rampant and it's almost necessary to have an answer for these Pokemon. Because of this, my fourth overall pick was Nidoqueen, who is not only immune to electric moves, but also provides a fairy resist and a poison immunity, as all Pokemon have access to Toxic. Nidoqueen also pairs well with the potential Trick Room mode and has extremely threatening offensive options with its insane coverage moves combined with Sheer Force Life Orb, since the secondary effect of the holder losing HP does not apply while maintaining the boost in damage. This would also be my third Stealth Rocker alongside Mega Mawile and Mew. Next up was Blastoise, a bulky water type with the ability to rapid spin as there is a lack of great spinners in this generation. With a ton of Pokemon getting access to Defog as well, having the option to spin to only remove your hazards felt needed to get Pokemon in range from Mawile. Pure water types are always important to draft due to their resistances and few weaknesses. If I wanted to utilize the option to spin, I wanted to get something that had access to spikes, which is why I chose Quilladin for round 6. Quilladin is a great ground resist that I needed because even with the exception of Tornadus, my team had no answer for Thousand Arrows from Zygarde, which is a prominent ground type outside of Landorus and Garchomp. At this point in the draft, I had all the hazard setters and control I wanted, but was severely lacking in speed. I needed to determine if I wanted to push the Trick Room mode more, or find speed tiers to fill with the speed gaps I had in my team, and I chose to prioritize the latter. Round 7 I picked up Terrakion. With base 108 speed and a high attack stat, it provides great support alongside Mawile to hit steel types and the fire types that Mawile struggles to damage with its stab, fighting, and rock moves that Terrakion has. If I run into opponents who lack Ghost type, Scarf Close Combats are gonna hurt and make the endgame for the rest of my team that much easier. Finally, it was round 8 and I had some routes to go. I could choose to get something with Trick Room as I secured a Pokemon with a high speed stat and physical coverage that I otherwise was lacking. I was also leaning into a Dragon type draft with the likes of Haxorus, but despite these options I instead wanted a Dark type for a Ghost Resist for my team. Introducing my last choice on round 8, Zoroark. Zoroark typically isn't one to be drafted, but it has a great speed stat and can easily be a mixed attacker. Stab, Knockoff, and U-Turn gives my team more utility and momentum it was otherwise lacking. Illusion paired alongside Terrakion, for example, can bait my opponents to use Psychic moves, which I would be immune to allow for setup, momentum, or raw damage. This concludes my team for the Smogon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon draft. Next up are battle pools, which we will cover more in the next video when we battle our first opponent. I'm really excited about the team that I drafted, and here's hoping we make it out of pools to progress throughout the tournament. Make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss the battle phase of the tournament next week, and I'll see you guys next time.